Hello everyone, Billy Tucci here, and welcome to our very first Indiegogo exclusive, SHI HAIKYO! After the terrifying events of SHI Return of the Warrior, Anna Ishikawa must now save her teenage daughter Hotaru, who's been kidnapped by the murderous Dr. Blevins. But to do so, she's forced to ally herself with her lifelong enemy, the manipulative Masahiro Arashi. But what if it's all a ruse and Blevins is actually protecting Hotaru and Anna has fallen into a trap set by the Yakuza Oyobani? Find out in SHI HAIKYO, the 52-page full-color sequel to Return of the Warrior. This action-packed psychological samurai thriller reunites me and writer Stephen Peros with artist Gardenio Lima, colorist Brian Miller, letterer Mindy Lopkin, designer Niall Scala, and of course my wife Deborah on a journey that takes you deep into the haunted ruins of New York's Roosevelt Island as a mother must embrace death so that her daughter may live. And the great news is, all 52 pages of my original line art is complete and lettered. All we have to do is the last of the finishes, finalize the colors, and print it to ensure that you get your books on a timely manner. But we can only do this with your partnership. So please, join us for SHI HAIKYO. We've got lots of special editions, challenge coins, prints, apparel, variant covers, including the very first SHI cosplay cover featuring the amazing Joni Brosis. We've also got sketch covers, commissions, and of course, original art. And we'll even make you a character in the comic book. Again, thank you for supporting Crusade Comics, SHI, and me for over 26 years. We couldn't have done it without you. And we can't do it without you again this time. So please pledge, please share, and remember, peace, love, SHI strong.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is Phil from Zade Comics coming at you once again with an awesome comic interview. We got Billy Tucci on today, which I'm super excited about. He's coming back, gracing us with his presence and talking about the newest SHI. Now, if you guys didn't know, he just came out with a SHI book last year, and it is awesome. We reviewed it on my channel, SHI Return of the Warrior, and SHI coming back after years of being absent with a brand new storyline, and it blew me away. You guys need to go check out that review I did on this channel. And if you guys are just tuning in right now, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Let me turn my pretty light on so I can look pretty for you guys. Totally forgot about that. And ring the bell for notifications so you know when we were going live. And let's bring the man in himself. This is Billy Tucci. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Thank you for coming on. I'm super excited to talk about this new book. And the one that just did, and Return of the Warrior, man, that knocked my socks off, dude.
Oh, thank you, Phil. First thing I want to say is, what's that? What's the first that trailer's too long. So the next one I'll shorten it. I gotta shorten that sucker up. It's just way too damn long. And secondly, what is your handsome light? Like, can I get a handsome light? You know, can I buy it? There's just no hope for me now at this.
That's a light, man.
At this age, at this time in my life.
You got it. You don't need one, Billy. That's what it is. You got it. Teen Sensation, I remember they called you.
That's right, Teen Sensation. I was going to type it, but I was late, so I didn't add Teen Sensation. I should have done it just now.
So this is, oh man, this was such a great way to get back into SHI. This book, and when I read it, it was like reading a 1980s thriller. You know, like something reminded me of like Silence of the Lambs type stuff. The story is so well written and thought out, and by the end of it, you know, I didn't know it was going where it was going, which was great. Yeah. And you know, cutting with the action and the classic, you know, it's the Billy Tucci-ness of it. You know, the panel layouts, like I talked about, how you cut in between them so the reader knows which panel to go to. That's so cool and such a SHI thing to do. Yeah. Glad you're still sticking to that classic stuff. What was it like getting back to this character after so long, and hitting up, you know, getting that story? And also I wanted to know, how long have you had this story?
Shoot, I've had that story. It was supposed to be for the 16th anniversary. Like her daughter was supposed to be 16. It was going to be Sweet 16. But, yeah, you know, I was doing a lot of work for DC. And you just get nervous because, you know, it's very intimidating crowdfunding. You know, it's not easy to do. It's not. and talking to people, and you got to think back then. Now this is that's 10 years ago. So back then, people are maybe making 30, 40 grand on a book. You're like, God, can I even afford to do this?
Yeah.
Back then, that I'd have to, write it, draw it, the whole thing. But it was worth doing it for 34. That's a lot of money if you think about it. But you're just it's the intimidation factor. Talking to this is before Brian Pulido did it, and
Right.
he was one of the few people doing it. And then even 5 years ago, even then Brian started doing it then, and I went over Jimmy Palmiotti's house, and his whole house was filled with boxes to the ceiling, and then I'm like, what? He's like, I got to pack these books. I got to ship them all out. I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. But, then but then, I got down to it. I'm like, I have to tell this story. I've published over 200 comics before. So, I'm Billy F. and Tucci. I can do it,
Yeah.
and man, thank goodness we did. We started small with our American Crusade apparel, which was our World War II hoodie that we did to raise some money for vet ticks and to protect my copyright from this Chicom company that was doing, ripping off the artist's work, and one of them was mine.
Yeah.
So we became an apparel company, and then we did Zombie Sama was our first foray into it, and then after that, She Return of the Warrior, and now with SHI HAIKYO, and it's been fantastic. I mean, you look at our returns, and we're well over $400,000 in returns on those 3 books.
Wow.
And HAIKYO, we're 7 weeks into SHI HAIKYO, and it's already in the 7 weeks of SHI HAIKYO, we've already surpassed our total 12-month Indiegogo numbers.
Dude, that's awesome to see. Seeing that growth from campaign to campaign.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And we saw that as well from our first book to doing the Lost Pages, just seeing that jump and kind of the fan base building, people coming back and wanting more of that story. Yeah. And for this one, especially because there's a cliffhanger at the end of Return of the Warrior, people have to come back for this, so you kind of like guaranteed that, and it shows here. And, as well as, doubling down on your IP and making sure that people are going to come back. And it's great. You guys working so hard to get this out, because you were just telling me that a lot of this is already finished,
Yeah, pretty much. And if you look at the video, all 52 pages of my art, the book was originally supposed to be 48 pages. Mm-hmm. Then I went, I need a few more pages. So I added, talking to Steve Peros, my, the writer of the book, co-plotter, if you will, but he's writing the script. He's a fantastic writer. He's a screenwriter, very successful screenwriter. One of my best friends since 7th grade, who I met. He has his own graphic novel out now called Stoker and Wells, Order of the Golden Dawn. And it's just a true joy to work with him, real professional that he is. And I'm like, Steve, I need a few more pages. So 48 went to 52. I finished the 52 pages. As we started putting the book together, I'm like, you know what? I need a few more pages. So then it became 53. Then it became 54. Now it's 57. And because we just want the book to end with a bang. And, we do short campaigns. Like the first SHI campaign was only 22 days long. This campaign was 25 days long, and then it goes in demand, obviously. Yeah. But and we do both. We do, we call it the No Fan Left Behind campaign, because we had on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter, we had over 1,000 backers, or almost 1,000 backers, and now we're just shy of 500 backers in 14 days. Yeah, 14 days on the Kickstarter for just the exclusive cover. I prefer one to the other personally. My wife wants to use both. Yeah. And as I say, happy wife, happy life. And how can I say no to over 500 Kickstarter backers? Because some of them do go to Indiegogo, but there are some that just who won't buy on Kickstarter for one reason or another. There are those that just won't buy an Indiegogo, whether they don't want to go on 2 platforms, if they don't have to. And hey, everybody deserves a little SHI. Everyone deserves a little Zaid Comics, right?
Yeah, man.
So why not reach the broadest audience as possible? We're capitalists. We don't play games with, any of this, silly, schoolyard, grade school type of stuff, I'm reaching the broadest audience possible.
Yeah.
And I appreciate every one of those fans, every single one of them, whether you get on Indiegogo, whether you get on Kickstarter, whether you don't want to do it on either of those and go on eBay or onto our website. Hey man, have at it.
For sure, man. I love, these new pages that you're showing off here is so cool. You could see, the slight difference, kind of like sepia tone for this flashback that already happened.
Yeah.
We get a little caught up to what was going on at the ending of the last issue where Shi's daughter gets kidnapped. Yeah. Really cool. And dude, this mask here, there's a panel, I think it's right when after she opens the door in Return of the Warrior. And the panel's not even on a page turn. It's like the last panel of a page. Yeah. But I saw it and I'm like, holy crap, that's freaky, Yeah,
it's really it is super freaky. Imagine this thing coming at you in the middle of the night, this white type of, Onibaba mask, it's but so Hotaru, cool. You hear, she's 15 years old and she's a badass, this one. And you'll find out why she's a badass in the follow-up story. Yeah. After HAIKYO, or at the end, you're gonna learn something that is earth-shattering for Shi history at the end of HAIKYO.
Oh my god!
And that's her daughter Hotaru. I know it's different. The names are similar, but HAIKYO means the ruins, and this whole book ends up taking the climax of this comic, of the HAIKYO book, ends up taking place on New York's Roosevelt Island. Now, Roosevelt Island is this long sliver of an island that's in between Manhattan and Queens. And it's the 59th Street Bridge spans over it. If you ever saw the film Nighthawks, that was Roosevelt Island. If you've ever seen City Slickers, that's where he lived. And at the tip of Roosevelt Island, there is a place called the Ruins. And what it is, it's from 1885. It's this massive, dilapidated smallpox hospital, the remnants of it.
Oh, wow.
And it's this cold, creepy facade that's been on ghost stories and stuff because it's supposed to be haunted of all the people that died there. And then beneath it are rumored, catacombs and buildings and basements and catacombs, levels of it. And that's where the book is a climax, because that's where this copycat Shi killer ends up taking Anna's daughter to lure her in.
Wow.
Badass, bro. If you scroll down, you'll see that driving
here.
Yeah. So and there's that's the place, and it's illuminated by thousands of Japanese lanterns.
And I love the skeleton here where he kind of like practices.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
His bondage there, which I thought was.
Yep. And the killer, he holds all the weapons, are all owned by notorious people in history. So he's got swords by Japanese executioners and pistols by Japanese generals who murdered innocent civilians and stuff. And the ghosts all inhabit that. And you see a little hint of the ghosts in Return of the Warrior, where Anna is fighting Arashi, and I got a copy here, and you'll see like Anna gets strength from her ancestors, the SHI ghosts.
Yeah, dude, I love that, and I love seeing that because it took me back to the first Shi book.
Yeah, and so it's fun doing it. So you see the ghosts there and stuff. And,
yeah, it's freaking awesome.
So the ghosts are there fighting with her, and but now you're gonna have good ghosts versus evil ghosts.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool.
Crazy! It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that supernatural aspect to Shi, which was Ancestor Warriors, was some of my favorite stuff back in the original series. And of course, you got to bring that stuff back. It's so cool. Like, just reading this whole thing was just a throwback, and it's like, wow, just being immersed back into the Shi world is so cool. Even, of course, like I said, these panel breaks here leading your eye, and even to the curved panel edges, which you do all the time.
Yeah.
I just love that. This is just, it screams you, of course, because you're the one making it. Oh, and man, Rashi's tattoos are just so badass. When I first saw that at the end of the, I think, first issue is Shi, I'm like, he drew all that, like he spent so much
time. I was like, what the hell was I thinking? But
so
you'll see, and then you see he's got the Shi symbol cut into his chest.
That
happens, and it's fun. It's a fun book. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like you're having a great time with this. And another thing that I love about you as a creator is, you seem really passionate about historical stuff,
Yeah.
and you research this stuff and you have so much knowledge on, the Japanese history, and you see it in the work. Like you were saying, all these weapons that the bad guy has here with the ghosts in them. I'm super excited to learn about that in here, and just all the cultural aspects. You really treat it with respect and honor the the ancestors of this culture. I really appreciate that. And it's, I love reading stuff like this because the reader learns as well, when you're, going through this fictional world. It's really badass.
Yeah.
So how, you said you had this story for a long time. Was it always supposed to be this team up of Shi and Arashi?
I don't know if I'd even call it a team up. You got to team up. You got to read the book. You got to see how they have to ally themselves to save her daughter, or art, But I absolutely, with Arashi, that was the whole point, was to have him to have Arashi sort of, I guess, at least be perceived to redeem himself.
Yeah.
And Arashi, for those that you may not know or ever read, Masao Arashi was the man that murdered Anna's father and her brother when she was a little girl. He was a Yakuza thug, and now he eventually climbed the the ranks of the Yakuza to become a big mogul, big business mogul in New York City, where he moved to.
Yeah.
And then after the Way of the Warrior storyline, Arashi ends up actually defeating Anna, but realizing that he's ruined this young girl's life, and what a dishonorable existence he's led, even though his whole life was about honor, and he ends up sparing her life and taking responsibility for all her crimes to give her a second chance on life. So it's a cool story. So so then I had the story, and I called Stephen Perros, who's was my co-writer on Return of the Warrior, and now he's the writer on Hotaru. And I asked Steve, we were drinking scotch and smoking cigars and doing a Zoom or a Skype. And I was just picking his brain with some ideas I had for the story, or some things I might have, when you come up against something, a little roadblock, and how do I make this work? And so we were on the phone probably for 2 hours, and it just went on great. And he kept asking me if you do this, and what if you brought this in, that in? And after I said thank you, and I hung up with him, and it probably was less than 5 minutes later when I called him back. I said, "Do you want to write this with me?"
Yeah.
And he said yes. And I know I love collaborations. I love collaborating with we call him finisher, because he was supposed to be an inker, but we're not using inks. Gardenia Lima. Yeah. And my pencils are getting looser and looser as his finishes, because he is such a brilliant artist. He didn't work on this, but if you to the actual story pages, and he's tremendous, and he takes he is such a slave to detail, like I am, and he loves. If you scroll up to that scene in her basement, in the basement, you see all that detail, and that he did, and he just works in all that, and he's just such an incredible draftsman. That we're a great team working with him. And again, I love collaborating. If it works, I love to collaborate. And again, we're in publishing here, right, Phil? So you want to get your books out. We're doing 4 more campaigns this year. So we have another Indiegogo. We're launching our 464-page omnibus, which is at the end of March. And then in early June or late May, we launch. We're going to launch She and I don't want to give away the title yet, but we launched the follow-up to this book.
Beautiful, man.
And then after that, we'll probably take a little break, and then we hit with She Gatecrasher, which will be in August. And then come October will be Zombie Sama 2, Dorm of the Dead, and She Return of the Warrior Omnibus Edition.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so pretty cool. Yeah.
Pumping stuff out, man. That's the dream. That's how it should be. And I think a lot of people are striving to get to that point where they could, kind of put out these books as fast as possible at the highest quality for the readers. So, basically taking place in the mainstream, so people don't have to go and, pump money into those guys anymore. They could, put it into stuff like stuff like what we're doing, which is amazing. And like you were saying, like, look at this panel. This panel is worthy of like a double page spread, really.
I know, dude. I know. When I
amazing.
saw it, even when I was drawing it, I'm like, oh my god, this would be a great double page spread. I really thought that, but
it's amazing how much depth there is to this panel.
Yeah.
You know, from the very far back, you know, corridor with the green to the midground, and then the foreground, this, you know, the mask and those weapons you were talking about. So much going on in this, and it's just beautifully laid out. It's awesome. And
and Brian Miller's colors are just phenomenal.
Yeah,
just phenomenal.
So they have such a light weight to them. It's like they float on the page. It's very
well, that's
beautiful.
why, and that's something like I've been doing pencils to colors, mostly on SHI, since '96 or late '95. Yeah,
that was a question here. He wants to know inks versus no inks for you.
Yeah. Well, William, what I like about doing the no inks is that it also gives, like, if you look at animation, and Walt Disney would have they would call them ink and paint girls because they were all women. And you have the animators would do this fun, lively, very organic way of storytelling, and then the ink and paint department would go in and they would clean those lines up. And they always left a little. It wasn't quite what Walt wanted. It kind of stagnated a little bit, and so I feel the same way with comics. Is when you get those pencils and they're so organic, so fresh and so alive, and you could have extra lines in there. It's not cleaned up. It's not super perfect. And then you color it, and like, look at those. It looks like watercolor. It looks like a watercolor painting.
You're
and
right.
That's what I wanted every panel to look like a watercolor painting in this book. And I think we're achieving it, because I just think, you know, you can spot your blacks real black if you want, but then again, not every shadow is a full black. You know, not everyone, you know, no one has a black line around their hands. And I love great inkers. I love great inking. I just felt for this particular book and for SHI in general, what separates it from the other comics out there, especially like of my contemporaries, I think it's going directly from pencils to colors. And you can do it now digitally.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I see some people doing that. Eric Weathers is doing that for his Metal Brick Road.
Yep.
But not too many. I think that's a thing people are going to get into. And as well, it seems to be quicker, right? Because you're going straight from pencils to colors. You're kind of skipping that inking process.
Yeah, but your pencils ought to be a lot tighter too, though.
Yeah, for sure.
But but then again, I love, like, I have to do a commission, a Salamandroid commission. Yeah, which I'll be doing next week. I'll be shooting all week, and I'll be doing commissions.
That's gonna be fun.
Because of like Salamandroid, like Cyber Frog, with all the with the metal and with all the chrome and metal and stuff, you got to do inks with that. I think paints really make that pop.
Yeah, and this here, I wanted to show off this panel from Return of the Warrior here. It's kind of a flashback from the original.
Oh, yeah.
This was really cool to see these colors, because it's like that looks like the original series.
Yeah, we wanted it to be the 90s, that 90s. If I was on my other computer, I could even show you the panel that I sent him, the image, like, match this.
Yeah, so cool. And that just stood out to me.
I can find, let me go into my Dropbox, and maybe I can find, if you want to ask me something while I'm doing it. But
yeah, sure. I mean, those, how were those colors done back then? Were those digital as well?
Yeah, they were. Yep, no, they were all digital. They were all digital. Same thing, but it took so much longer.
Yeah,
than it does now. And they just didn't have the tools. But you did have like Brian Miller start off as he's an artist, Brian Miller. Mm-hmm. So he knows color theory. He knows paints. He's a painter himself. So when you have a really great advantage when you have colorists that are painters first, rather than, I want to be a digital colorist. And there are some of them that do really well, but I think you could see the ones that are true painters. They'll add colors to the flesh. Mm-hmm. They'll add, not all flesh is just tan, say, right? Or for an Asian person, not more of a yellow hue. There's purples and greens and all sorts. Look at Frazetta. There's all different colors in skin tones, and real painters get that. So,
right, yeah, it's made up of many different colors, like you said. Let's see, Shadowhawks in the chat. He says, "Hail Phil, got my lost pages and stickers today. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for back. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. People are still backing, so that's great. We're able to send out books basically like next day, which is really
and that's
cool.
the best. Isn't that great? Because that's what we did. It drove my wife a little crazy, so we're looking to end this campaign on February 5th.
All right.
Just close it because it drove, like, I loved it. I'm like, oh my God, we made another $1,000 today.
Yeah, man.
And she's like, yeah. And her hair's all sticking up, because she does all that. She puts it all in our little team of people. So it's like, it's a lot easier if we just close it. And I think also we just close, like, listen, this is closed. This is being closed Friday night, February 5th. And it's done. And then you won't be able to get the book anymore. Maybe in a few months down the road from my on our website,
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Look forward to the Salem Android, Billy. Sal's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I can't wait to draw him. I'm a little intimidated. I've been doing I have 2 I have to do this week. And I have to write Miss Fury. And I'm drawing 8 pages of Miss Fury. I wrote and drew 8 pages of Miss Fury, which is the like a prequel to the next Miss Fury called Hollywood Nights.
Oh, it's so awesome.
So I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I got to tell you. And I got and bow hunting, hunting season ends January 31st. So I got to get my butt out there and get in the woods and do a little bow hunting.
Yeah, I saw you and your kids were we're hunting birds.
Yeah, I took my son pheasant hunting for the first time. He just turned 18. He's going to college. Believe it or not, it's a college for welding.
Oh, cool.
He loves it. So, I gave him his grandfather's over Ithaca over and under, and he used that, and he was like a champ.
Nice.
Real windy, real cold, so the birds don't like to fly. But we shot out of the 10 we saw, we knocked down 7 of them. 1 I totally blew. The 2 that we missed, we really didn't have much of a chance at them because the wind was so hard and they were gone. I mean, you couldn't reach them. But the second one that we missed, I totally shankopotamused it. So I used my duck gun, not my pheasant gun. And for those of you guys don't know guns, for those of you who are into guns, you have a gun for every particular thing.
Yeah.
Let's say like an AR, which is good for for pretty much anything except for hunting. But so I have my over and under that I use for my pheasant gun. Then I have my Brunelli, which is my duck gun. And I kind of just misjudged it using my duck gun because I'm used to shooting ducks at 40 yards away. Yeah. And he was probably 20 yards away. And I don't know what I did, Phil. Still pissed off about it. Because that's, you pull that trigger, man, that's meat on the table, Mm-hmm. I mean, and and I missed him. That's what are you gonna do?
So tell me about this rough cut book, because this is something you guys did for the last campaign, right?
Yep. So the rough cut is basically my art, my pencils, because I can't give you this. This is the end of the book. Where's my other one?
No spoilers, Billy.
Yeah. So basically, I have all my pages here.
Wow.
So you see, like these are my pages before Gardenio gets to them.
Uh-huh.
And you'll see that's basically how I draw them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then Gardenio comes in and cleans them up and everything. But there's 57 pages of that, and it's the whole story.
And this is so the rough cut is basically this with letters on it.
The rough cut is this book. So you see the real. Let's do that. See, remember there's that panel.
Yeah.
Skeleton. So you'll even see how I draw the skeleton. I had to ink them in. Cool. So you see all the. Basically that's a good page to share. So you'll see compared to the colored page. Damn it, it's tough when you're not looking.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
And you just so this is it's 58 pages of story and art, and it shows the comic in its rawest form. And I love roughs. I love seeing roughs, and I mean they're not really roughs; they're my pencils. But then we do the Pure Line edition, which is then all the black and white art, the final black and white art.
Oh wow, yeah. So there's a lot.
It's a great buy, and you also get the rough. You get the first draft of the script, so it's not the final draft of the script too. So there'll be some differences in the script, some dialogue changes, word balloon placements, word balloons, and being omitted or added. So it's fun. That's stuff I like.
Yeah, this campaign has a lot of stuff like for SHI collectors. A lot of content here. Getting your books in different ways that you could probably only get on this campaign, which is really cool.
Definitely.
I don't really see anyone doing this rough cut thing. Very, very interesting. So when you are working with your finisher, you basically take those pencils and you scan them in and send it to them.
Yeah. So I scan in my pages, send them to him.
All right.
He then goes and cleans them up. But dude, he's unbelievable. He's making them 10 times better. And then he sends us those, and then they go to Mindy Lopkin, who's our designer. Mindy Lopkin and our friend, our pal Niall Scala, are our designers. Mindy then will format it for color. Then she sends it to Brian Miller, and then Brian Miller does his magic on it. No, there's no SHI art in this entire campaign that is inked. It's all pencils of colors.
Wow.
And again, that's our glow in the dark edition because they've always wanted a friggin' glow in the dark.
Dude, that's so cool. I was just gonna bring it up. Yeah, glow in the dark cover.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I might have to pick that one up because that's badass. But you have, just like on a lot of your campaigns, you have so many awesome, different variations and color covers, stuff like that. This one, beautiful. Again, I can't believe it's the amount of time that goes into doing all these pedals on here.
Yeah. You sit there like this, and I just listen to. That's when I started, watching, something that I've seen before because I have my TV right here. So I'll put Band of Brothers on. I can't be looking up like hockey. I'm a hockey nut, so I can't watch hockey while I'm drawing that. But if I can listen to this stuff, but yeah, and that's our exclusive. That's our Indiegogo exclusive. That's the SHI Matsuri Sakura Moon, which means cherry blossom moon. And I just think Brian Miller colored that. What a beautiful job he did on that. And then again with the glow in the dark cover, what people don't know, the glow in the dark cover costs more than the hard cover to make.
Wow, dude.
It's so expensive to make that damn ink. And SHI Way the Warrior #1 was supposed to be glow in the dark.
Yeah.
And so I called Diamond. We're going back 27 years ago. I was like a kid. I don't know, 4, 20, whatever I was, 25 or something. And I'm like, okay, I want to do a comic. And I sent it to him. I was like, well, you need something. A lot of independent publishers are doing something. You need something chromium or something that make the book stand out so you can compete with Marvel and DC because everyone's now Valiant, Marvel, DC. Everyone's doing chromium, glow in the dark, all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to do glow in the dark.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, but this is 94. And what I didn't realize, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And, it was just like you, right? You learned as you went along, publishing, Magic Cop. And now you're a pro. But I got my printers like, we can't do glow in the dark in the United States anymore. It's comes from China and it's toxic. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, I can't. So I couldn't have glow in the dark cover. So I made SHI Way the Warrior #1 was made returnable. And so we got about 100, or I might have got like 300 of them back.
Wow.
Returns that first week. Like, oh, they're supposed to have a glow in the dark cover, and they just returned it. And then within 3 weeks of that, we had reorders of over 140,000 comics. Like there's only 50,000 of them. And then I have retailers calling me, can I get some SHIs? I'm like, they're gone, dude. One retailer said, can you make more? I'm like, what are you?
That's an amazing problem to have there.
Just make more. I'm like,
that's so cool. Yeah, dude, I love these cover stuff. I got to talk to you after the show about some of this and how to get stuff like this done because that's really cool.
Yeah, we use API printing, and they're just great. Joseph and Rob are great guys.
They're the guys based in like Tennessee, right?
Yep, based Tennessee, and the printer is in Georgia, I think.
Ooh, that's great. And
I like a family. It's like a family. I like using all the same people.
Yeah.
We call it Team SHI. And like even Mindy's our letterer, and I'm getting lettering submissions, and so many great. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Great. But I got my letterer already. I got my colorist already. But we'll be expanding with the new books and stuff, and bringing in new teams.
Very cool. Now this is I think you posted this recently, right? This is beautiful,
dude. That's like the coolest SHI cover I've ever seen in my life.
So
that's
cool.
why digital artist Jeff Chapman did it. Wow. Posted it. Someone shared it to me. I tracked him down. He must think I'm crazy. I'm like, I want to make this a cover. And in the SHI Gatecrasher book, which comes out in August, Gatecrasher is for August. That's the costume she wears in the 80s, because she's going to go in Gatecrasher. Anna Ishikawa, she will be going through every generation of comics, every decade.
Oh, that's so cool.
And in
So
the
this
80s,
is,
that's what she's going to be wearing.
this
And
is an outfit she's
yeah,
worn
and it
before.
sold out. I thought there was 300 of them. There was only 250 of them. They sold out. There's some on. We did 300 for some reason on Kickstarter because I guess I thought there was 300 on this, but there's I think we're close to 100 on Kickstarter already sold.
Wow.
So, but if anyone missed it, we're working with CrowdOx now. So whatever overruns we have from the Kickstarter will go back into the CrowdOx. So when you can check out, you'll be able to add it.
So is this a costume that you designed also?
No, he did it.
Oh wow, yeah. This
cool?
it's totally. It reminds me of a costume you would design because
I know.
Totally my 80s style jacket. It's like a mix between SHI and that like Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah.
Badass, man.
So 80s. I'm like, heck yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah. So
heck
cool.
yes. And I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm like, you want to do another? Because he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, dude. And then
our first ever, Joni's amazing. She came up, we met her at San Diego a few years back, and Debbie just fell in love with her. She's just the cutest thing. But she's like, I love SHI and I want to be SHI. So she just showed us on one of our shows, that our Women in Comics show, that she had the costume. And she was going to do SHI. And we're like, oh my God, that'd be a great variant cover. So our first ever SHI cosplay cover. And I think she makes a beautiful SHI.
Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, this is so cool, man. I'm so excited for this book and for the series to see where all this is going.
Thank you, bro.
Everybody's has to pick this up, and because it seems like you guys are really have this well thought out, and are going to be pumping it out, like you said, another 4 campaigns this year. You said,
yeah, we're trying. We got a great, we're trying. We got a great community. I was on Ethan's show yesterday yesterday afternoon, and it's just so great how we all help each other out. And you get it. It's business, and in a way, I don't even really think it's competition. I like how we're all in this together, helping one another out.
I agree. That's the way I look at it.
Right. It's really encouraging. You email somebody, send them some pages. Graham Nolan sent me a link to his, to his new website and his new campaign, which is launching in a few weeks. And just talking to him about that. And it's so great. It really is. It's an incredible community, what we got going here. And the fan base is second to none. Second to none. And I want to thank everyone out there, all you guys. Edwin, what's up, bro? Thank you. And just like guys like Edwin, and I see the names, the same guys that come out. Shadowhawk, you're awesome. And you guys are just Dave. Good seeing you, Bristolian Dave. It's so great to see. And again, this is like a giant family. Miss Fury's going great. I'm still writing it. I wanted a bigger ending to it. So now we've got trains and airplanes and P-47s and Tiger tanks and all kinds of stuff.
That's cool.
But it's coming out great. It's supposed to ship in February. And I remember they're like, it's shipping in February. I'm like, this is 108 pages of story and art. You're going to do it what are you, crazy?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be February, maybe May or something like that, but you're not going to be disappointed. I don't know these, we did with HAIKYO because HAIKYO was done when we launched it and said, HAIKYO is only going to be a 3-month campaign from pledge to from pledge to print. That Miss Fury was done from scratch. I think we had 2 pages, but that's a dynamite book. So
that's true. This is the way to do it, though, man. Have this stuff ready. So because when I saw you were shipping Return of the Warrior and you basically immediately launched this campaign, I'm like, man, Billy's on the right track because you have all that, stuff done ahead of time. So you can turn this around so quick for the readers. And that's how you keep those readers wanting more, keep them coming back and really engaged. All the stuff you do on YouTube, staying engaged with the fans. That's what this is all about. And that's where I think the future of comics is going, staying engaged with your fans and letting them know through updates, through Twitter, stuff like that, what you're working on, what they could be expecting in the coming months. That is how you grow your company, and you're killing it at that as well.
Yeah, and I love the what EVS does with the European model. Do one great book, a book a year, and that works. With me though, I got to get these SHI stories out. I want them out, and because they've been pent up inside of me, for 15 years. So I want to get them out and just start publishing. But every book going forward from here on in, that book will be completely done before we launch.
That's amazing, man. That's the way that I think it is to do it. That's what we're trying to do as well. Right now, we're working on Magic Cop 2, and I'm already, in the works to get pages done on the next Lost Pages stuff.
Yeah, so, let's check out Lost Pages, man.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Bro.
Yeah, we are still shipping, like I said. Well, shipping basically on demand next day. Everything's shipped out right now. We just dropped off another package at the post office yesterday.
You need 500 backers, man. You need 12 more backers at least. Is it 12 more?
Yeah, 12 more,
12 more, man. 500. Come on, guys. Let's share.
That would be awesome. Yeah, man, it's been a crazy ride. I mean, with starting off getting the Simon Bisley cover, talking with him, doing that was a huge moment for me. And and then hitting 20K and then hitting 30K and almost being at 500 backers. It's been so crazy. So if you guys haven't got this book, definitely pick it up, please. It's kind of a love story to comics. It spans through all the genres of comic book storytelling. From you get your supernatural vigilante with the silhouette, all black and white with red for the blood in this story. We got some fantasy with Wild Card, awesome high detailed art by Joe Ball. Kind of a swashbuckling pirate story where sirens take over his boat and he has to destroy these horrible, horrific bird women. Awesome flamethrowing action.
What a great movie that would be.
Yeah, dude, it's totally like a throwback to like Jason the Argonauts,
Yeah.
He's got like skeleton pirates climbing up the side of the boat and he's got to take them out.
Yeah, you could see it as a film. Like the first one's really beautiful and she's like enticing them.
Yeah.
And then they're all just monsters and they're just guys on a pirate ship. And he's like, we're pirates, for God's sake.
Here.
You know what I mean? And they just start going. Oh, dude, what a movie that would be.
It would be so cool.
Blazing away on a pirate ship. The whole thing takes place on a pirate ship.
Yeah, and that's what the story is.
Story.
Let me see. I get pull up a page here. If I could scroll through. So here's some of the silhouette stuff, black and white. So you can see some beautiful art here. So cool. And then it goes into here we go. These are the sirens. They're the three sirens on the beach.
Yeah.
And they sing the song of the sirens to hypnotize the pirates. And then they turn into these horrific birds that fly around and terrorize Wild Card on his ship. Super cool.
That is cool, bro.
Joe killed it on here. Beautiful double page spread. Flame throwing these skeleton pirates. So cool. I can't believe I got to work with so many great artists on this. And if people love 90s, which I know a lot of them in the community do. So we got this kind of bombastic, ultra-violent 90s character who's this monster that lives in this lady's mind, who used to be her imaginary friend. So Crimstone's a kind of kick-ass character as well. So fun. Lots of different stuff. And then the last one is our pulp hero, the Masquerade. It's kind of our the Shadow, the Green Hornet-esque character. So yeah, I would love to see, I think this character would do really well in kind of like that Miss Fury universe, because very, 1930s, the Shadow, the Phantom, the Green Hornet, very fun. And I kind of specifically write it in that way as well. So if you guys haven't checked out the Lost Pages, please do. Like we said, we are 12 backers away from 500. And the next thing, you could see the link to this and SHI in the description down below. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is our next book, Magic Cop 2, which is coming out soon. It's launching, I think, next month. We got a lot of cool stuff to show with this, man. 80s all the way, nonstop. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I signed up for that. I hope I did. Forgive me. I didn't see it.
Yeah, man. We got my brother's doing the interiors again, and we got this new character, the Headless Hitman, who is a play on the Sleepy Hollow character, the Headless Horseman, but he's hired to take out one of the police officers at the Ambrosia PD. Mm-hmm. And It's going to be a lot of fun. It's basically the story of they're cracking down on a new drug that's in the city. It's called pixie dust. And when you snort pixie dust, you get magical powers. So all these junkies are running around with like they're wizards. And so they got to crack down on whoever is who's making that, concocting that drug. So
Nice.
get on that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We just
what's your date? You have a date yet?
I was thinking about the 5th actually, like the day you're closing out, because I think that's a Friday.
Yeah, it's
right?
Friday. Yep.
So I love launching on a Friday. I think that's, we did well every time we did that. So might be around there, give or take a couple weeks, but we're doing a backup story as well. That's going to be very like samurai oriented,
Nice.
lots of katana action and, kind of mixed magic and Japanese culture. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I just need to get the cover of that done so I can have that for the campaign. Yeah, man.
Can't wait.
We're trying as well.
William C. had said something a while back. 5 minutes. It's the Polito model. That's what I'm doing for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Brian's a huge influence on me. I'm the kid brother Brian never wanted. So
yeah, he pumps stuff out, man.
They've just been great to us, helping us out.
Polito pumps out quality all the time. He's someone that does like 4 campaigns or more a year. Yep. My brother loves his La Muerte comics.
Yeah.
He has a really cool universe. Let's see, William C's Lost Pages is great. Pumped to see the stories come out of this universe. And Billy, that would be sick, man.
I do. Well, I'm supposed to do something for Ethan too. Let me just get caught up.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just a little behind right now, but I'd be honored to do one for you. I would just need some time. It's cool that we laid our publishing schedule out, and my publishing schedule for 2021 and 2022 is already done.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So we're already, we know exactly what we do. We have a big board. We've got it written down a computer, spec sheeted out and all. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. That's why, but I'm banking on this omnibus doing really well.
Yeah, man. No, I'm definitely grabbing that one as well.
So we can afford to get those books drawn, before we even launch. And
colored. Yeah, so everybody make this happen. Grab your HAIKYO book today, and follow Billy. Make sure you get on that omnibus so you guys know the whole backstory of SHI, because this character has a lot of stories. So really, amazing art in it. So it's going to be really, really cool. Now, is the omnibus going to have like crossover stuff in it as well?
Nope. The first omnibus is SHI, Way of the Warrior, and the Tomo series. It's 464 or 462, whatever that comes out to be.
Yeah.
Any of your smart people can surf for 8s. It's 16 issues. Some of them are, a couple of them are oversized, and one's a double issue. And it tells the first Way of the Warrior saga.
Wow, that's going to be awesome.
And we will do, I think volume 3 might be, may be the singles and crossovers book.
Awesome. That's going to be cool too.
Yeah, we have like 4 or 5 of them planned already because we did a lot of books. So
kick ass, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and hit that like button as well. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when we're going live. This was a great show. Again, guys, if you haven't already, please back SHI, check it out. And even if you can't right now, grab the link, share it out on social media. That really helps. And follow Billy everywhere he's at so you can know when he's putting out new content. Where can people find you, Billy?
I'm on Twitter. I'm Billy Tucci. I'm on Instagram. I'm Billy Tucci, and I'm on Facebook. And I have BillyTucci.com. We're redesigning our website over the next month. But it's BillyTucci.com or CrusadeFineArts.com. And you'll see me. You'll see my smiling face.
Awesome, guys. Thanks again for coming on, Billy, and thanks everybody in the chat.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll see you